Thank you for pressing play on the Inside Deschutes County podcast. Wherever you might be and however you might be listening, thank you for making us a part of your day. You can find us on any podcast platform, and you can also find us on deschutes.org/podcast.
Deschutes County is an amazing place to live,
work, and play.
Great place to raise a family.
I love the weather and the high desert.
At Deschutes County, we provide excellent service.
Beautiful.
We're here to help you.
Deschutes County is the heart of Oregon.
Everyone wants to be here.
This is episode 23 of the Inside Deschutes County podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Eric Brion. This is actually the 1-year anniversary of the podcast launch. We are so grateful for all the guests who've come on, told their stories, all the listeners, the laughs, hopefully lots of information and resources shared with you as well. Our podcast continues to grow. I'm very grateful for that, and not just because it's on my performance review. We had to celebrate the 1-year mark by bringing in one of my favorite people to talk to. She has an office next to mine and has served the county as a commissioner since 2019. Commissioner Patti Adair is here. Commissioner, thank you so much for joining us.
Eric, it was a long walk.
Big walk.
Yes, big one.
Yeah, like what? 2 steps maybe?
Probably. At least I walked to lunch today.
Oh, that's good. Where'd you go?
My favorite Pine Tavern. And then I walked back from lunch. And of course we had several seasons.
That's true.
Right. When I
There's
was
been
out
like
there.
rains, a little bit
Snow.
of snowflakes, lots of sunshine though.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Spring's coming.
Sunday. It's going to be here Sunday.
That's true. Technically, yeah. Sunday, the 21st.
Well, it's supposed to be 65.
Oh,
Sunday.
that's big.
Yes, that is really big.
Yeah, because the 21st is not Sunday. It's next Thursday.
Right.
It's Thursday. I don't know when we're posting this, so it's all going to be all out of whack. But what else is new in your world, Commissioner? How are the horses?
Well, they're fine. I have 3 foals due in April, which is
What?
a first. Yes, my husband, oh my gosh, he was counting. He always counts how many horses I have because my mother used to have 100.
Oh, my goodness.
No, we had a ranch up the road, and my mom had so many horses. She loved horses, but it's a family addiction. So, we have 3 babies due.
3?
Yes.
3 due. Mm-hmm. How many do you have total?
Well, a couple of those are not mine, but the babies will be mine.
The babies will be.
They'll be mine. So I have a couple, and then one of my mares, Bobby Lou, is being ridden by my neighbor who's competing in OSET, the high school equestrian program.
Wow, that's
And
cool.
It's wonderful because Bobby Lou I've only used her for parades the last couple of years, and she really can shine somewhere besides a parade. She's a great parade horse. But Clover's been riding her, and it's really exciting.
Bobby
it's really,
Lou?
Yes. Well,
Where'd you get that name?
Well, her papered name is Leaving on a Jet Plane without any spaces. I love Peter Palmieri's song.
Okay.
So she got Leaving on a Jet Plane. That's her registered name.
Okay.
But her barn name, because my husband's name is Bob, and my favorite aunt was Mary Lou.
Well, there you go.
So, we made her name Bobby Lou.
I just learned today that you and I both lived in Pendleton.
Well, I was born there, yes.
You were born there?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, I lived in Pendleton for a few years, so that was kind of cool. And you were of course, it's all about the roundup there.
Of course it is, yes.
Big
It's
deal.
a family big
deal.
Yes, my great aunt was in the Hall of Fame. She won like the first roundup relay. She put a stick into her leg, and the women had to change the saddles, and she won. So competed, circling the track 3 times.
I also learned today, because our offices are so close and we spend a lot of time chatting in the hallway, which is great. I love it, by the way. You're a big tennis fan.
Oh, yes.
I didn't know that.
I used to play a lot of tennis. I love tennis. I started late, but I tried to make up for it.
Okay.
And I adore tennis. It's such a wonderful. I love to run. I used to love to run. So, yeah, it's exciting.
Well, you went to a school that had a pretty big runner.
Oh, you're talking about Steve. Yes, Steve Prefontaine was in my dorm. That was one of the highlights.
That's so crazy.
No. Well, he was an Oregonian too.
Yeah.
So amazing, friendly Oregonian, and I didn't run at that time, but I did run later. And then Dan Fouts was our football quarterback, too. And my best friend's dad was the football coach. So it was a small world in Eugene.
Absolutely.
Very small.
It's funny how that works out.
I know.
That's awesome. Pickleball? You play? No?
We had
That's the craze these days.
Know.
Everybody's
Everybody
playing pickleball.
loves it. I know they do. And honestly, I really just want to go back to play tennis because I like to run.
Pickleball is not for the commissioner. No.
Well, we had a ping pong table at our growing up on the ranch.
Reminds you too much of
It,
ping pong?
I liked it, but I just really, I want to play tennis if I can find the time.
All right. Well, we'll have to get you some time. You know,
Yes,
the county's kind of busy. Probably keeps you a little wrapped up in stuff.
it does.
I got to ask you about what's going on in the county. That's why you're here.
Yes, the county.
The legislative session just wrapped up. Any big wins for the county out of that? What did you?
Honestly, the most important win was Measure 110, recriminalizing drugs.
Big topic.
It was huge, incredibly important to me. Our lobbyist had said they're not going to do anything to it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know we had fentanyl babies in St. Charles being born. People are dying. I knew people who had overdosed and died. It's the leading killer from 18 to 49 in our country. It's horrific what drugs have done, and I am so thankful that we have actually recriminalized them, and I want people to get help. We have opportunities here, best care. We have ideal options. We have lots of opportunities, and I know we're going to still lose some people, but I'm hoping that maybe in another year things will start improving in our state.
And the Board of Commissioners took some steps recently in regards to fentanyl opioids with a state of emergency. Talk about that a little bit.
We did. Made that push because at the time with Doug Riggs saying, no, they're not going to do anything, and I'm saying, how could they not do something? It's life or death. It's definitely attracting the crowd we don't want to attract. It's a beautiful place to live here, but when you have people coming in because of our drug policy, I feel that we had to make a difference. So we did declare an emergency, and I thought that was it was actually a really good message to give to our legislators. They listened. I testified, I can't tell you how many times over Measure 110. I was called salacious by the Oregonian because they said it couldn't be true, but my facts were from facts, and it was a recorded meeting, and I knew we had serious problems, with babies being born. So it's for the better, and now we're working on the finer points of that legislation.
What else came out of the legislative session in regards to Deschutes County? I know that there was maybe some funding for behavioral health, maybe
Right,
the
the Stabilization
Center.
Yes, received $1.5 million, which is excellent.
Okay.
It's a 24/7 operation. It's always challenging to keep it staffed, but it really is so helpful. And it's not only Deschutes County, but we have law enforcement visiting from, Crook County and Jefferson County at times. It's there, and it's always good to know that somebody will be there to help you. The drop-off is, I believe it's under a 5-minute drop-off, so it's really excellent. And you want the community to know that there is a place where they can get some help.
Yeah, that place has really been an example for the rest of the state in regards to handling some mental health crisis, right? I mean,
It has been.
But it's difficult to get funded.
Well, it's because it's 24/7, so that really demands, and you can't just have one person working alone. It demands staffing, so it is challenging for the funding, but we've been pretty lucky too through the state in getting funding for it. It's been a model. Now, the first year I was elected, they wanted me to approve it instantaneously, and actually I did research. I visited places over in Hillsborough and Clackamas County, had a stabilization center, went to a facility in Eugene that wasn't quite the same. And then they had a 24/7 facility in Salem that we've visited. Got lots of really good ideas, such as when you have a treatment room, you really want to have 2 doors so someone doesn't feel trapped. Those simple things. And then they do have a fountain, a waterfall when you walk in the door, but the important thing is the rocks need to be glued down so somebody doesn't pick up a rock and throw it. And
things you don't think about necessarily.
No, I know, but learned a lot of little important things, came back with those ideas in a couple of months, and then it was approved. And then eventually, became open, 24 hours a day. So it's been important for our community.
Very cool. So a couple big wins in the legislative session.
A couple of big wins.
Yeah, I mean those are pretty big. What other big wins has the county had, maybe outside of the legislative session, in your mind as to, the day in day out business of the county? What are some things where things are going right?
Okay, well, actually, it was a year ago when we received the $15 million for the courthouse expansion. It's 52,000 square feet. We definitely needed to add on to the building and to keep the...
And things are happening.
Yes. Oh, yes. And it's actually happening. They just brought down the A.J. Tucker building, where all the stones got individually marked. And I'm hoping someone out there in the real world will think of a wonderful use for those stones, and we have to store them for 8 years. But I'm hoping, I was talking to the Historical Society about that the other night, saying, gosh, maybe you guys can come up with a really good use of those stones. So they're not lost in some storage unit, but they represent our history, because Deschutes County is the youngest county in the state. Pretty amazing. My family came to Oregon in 1855, my great-great-grandfather. So we've been here a long time, and Deschutes County didn't become a county till, 1919?
I don't know.
Yes, not that long ago.
I don't know the answer to that. I probably should, working in the communication. But
yes.
Yeah.
Well, it was
a while ago.
We're the youngest county.
Okay.
And Deschutes is a French word.
So big things happening along Greenwood. That's going to the courthouse is going to expand all the way out to the street.
It is.
And there's going to be some temporary, I've talked to our friends in the facilities department. There's going to be some temporary entrances. We'll make sure to communicate those things as they happen. But lots changing over in that way. So that's a big win going on. Anything else that comes to mind in terms of exciting things happening in the county right now?
Well, I'm happy to say that our, fair grounds are being utilized almost night and day now. Since I came into office.
They're busy.
Yeah, incredibly busy. And we have our director, Jeff Hines, who really has done an outstanding job. And I asked him if he would please help to rebrand the facility as Western, as indicative of the history of Central Oregon. And he's done some amazing new projects there. The circuit finals for the Columbia River were brought back a couple of years ago, and now they're looking at perhaps going on to the future. So it's always fun to know what's happening at the fairgrounds.
Lots going on out there.
And if we can just get our land exchange with 10 other acres on top of that land exchange with the state, which of course we've been working on that for quite a while.
Hint, nod, nod.
Yeah, state, Governor Kotek. Anyway.
I'm sure she's listening to this podcast.
I will. Well, I can send her a message.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
The good news is we can be the largest fairgrounds in the nation. And would I want to be number one in the nation? Of course
yeah.
I would. Yes. Because I used to live in Los Angeles, and that's the number one. That's the largest one. So if we can beat LA.
We can blow them out of the water.
Well, Jeff's grandfather actually ran the LA County Fair. So this is
I learned that on this podcast.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's quite an opportunity.
Commissioners just presented at the South County breakfast.
Yes.
Lots going on in South County. How did that go? What were the big messages for them, and what did you hear from people that live down in that neck of the woods of our county?
They do have a lot going on, and honestly, what I'm more of a maybe worry about is the nitrate water situation. Even though it's a drip, I'm somebody who believes that we need to do something now, and it was brought up the fact that the septic systems that are being put into houses in today's world in Oregon are only 70% effective, that is not good enough, because every 3.3 houses that you put in, that's just like having a house with no system at all. And there are systems out there that are 95% effective. Can you imagine the difference? But unfortunately, at this moment in time, those companies don't sell in Oregon yet. So when I found that out, I'm like, we have to bring those companies here. They've got to be, there's some kind of an approval process. Well, please, DEQ, get on that and make that happen so that the water sources are really, they're protected. They're protected for future generations. It's challenging, but I do think that we're going in the right direction. Peter Gutowski, our director of building, came out that we have a possibility applying for a $20 million grant regarding South County's water. And I'm like, wow, things can happen when you really start. Yeah, like I'm not going to just sit here and say, no, it's not critical. It is critical. We need to keep that water system clean. Now, I have talked to a couple of well drillers, and they aren't quite as busy as they were a couple years ago. A lot of wells, there's some very shallow wells in South County, and they were going dry. But according to my information, things have calmed down a bit there. But let's get those septic systems improved, and maybe we can expand the sewer system that the city of La Pine actually is working on.
DEQ actually doing some free well water testing.
Yes.
The deadline was March 10th, so we've kind of passed the deadline a little bit, but they're trying to gather data and things like that about the water. Environmental health, our environmental health team does well water testing, so that's always good. So we're helping them. We're trying to get the information, right?
Exactly. I would say, if you didn't hear about the free testing and you missed that opportunity, but please just call up our environmental center and have someone test your water. I think it is so important. I had some USC students, University of Southern California students at my house a couple months ago, and it was the day that it snowed.
Bring up USC.
I know, it's the Trojans. My husband went to med school there, so I have to be kind.
Okay.
Anyway, they drive to my house, and it's like snowing all day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, guys. So they get in the house, and I say, well, do you guys want sparkling water or do you want well water? And they go, well water, what's that?
Yeah.
They had no idea.
No idea.
So they had water, my well water, and they were like, wow, this tastes so good. I think our well's like 600 feet deep or something, but it was really amazing that they were from all over the world, actually, and they had not had well water before.
I don't know if I've had well water.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you ever?
I don't know.
Well, I'll have to have you come out then.
Apparently. I need
Yes.
that invite. Got to get out there, see the horses, all the things. All the things. Play some pickleball.
Yeah.
Not pickleball.
I do not have a
Commissioner
pickleball court
does
at
not
my
like
house.
pickleball. Let's get bigger. What's kind of the biggest issue? And I know this is broad, it's big, but in your mind, what's the biggest issue facing our county right now? I mean, that's a lot, and I know you talked a lot about the state of emergency, the opioids, fentanyl. Mm-hmm. There's other stuff out there, but what do you think is really the biggest? I mean, I know that's so broad, but
It is broad. So we're talking about we have a lot of growth, and yet we have to have planned growth, and we have to have respect for our water, the entire county's water, and what's really going on there. And then, one of my personal big issues is juniper trees. The fact that if you look at a photograph from 80 years ago, there weren't hardly any here, and now they've taken over. We have 5 million junipers in Oregon that need to go. They suck water every day, 25 to 40 gallons. I mean, every day of the year. So I really think always looking to the root of situations, what is it we can do, and thinking
pun intended, root,
right,
the root.
Root of the things, yes. So please, if more people would, we have all kinds of grant funding for that. But I do believe that that's something that's really important. And then, you see growth everywhere and traffic. And I have to actually say good things about the roundabouts that I drive through now. I feel so much better about them. I'm so happy that like Old Bend Redmond Highway can get right in on Highway 20 going to Bend or going to Salem. It's really been remarkable, all the changes. Now, if we can just get the Terrebonne interchange going, that will make me a lot happier. That's been my baby for a couple of years, as is the sewer system in Terrebonne, and the highway and the sewer system all go together. So I'm really hoping that that's going to be in plan sooner rather than later. It seems like right now we've kind of hit a bit of a roadblock, and I'm thinking that roadblock has got to be, somebody's got to smash it.
Yeah, that's a biggie.
Mm-hmm.
It's been talked about a lot.
It has. And I did, I had to beg Tom Anderson in 19 to do a third study on the sewer system of Terrebonne, and he did it. He said yes, and the county's really been right there with the community trying to implement this. And then, of course, there's always little things that happen. So you just keep charging forward.
Keep plugging away.
Yeah.
Keep plugging away. It's budget season for the county. What opportunities or challenges do you think are there for the county as they start to go through the process? It's the budget committee, it's you guys, it's everybody coming in making their pitch. I'm assuming staffing is probably top of mind. I'm assuming space. What other things are kind of you're hearing as we start to head into that season?
Okay. Well,
did I open a can?
You did, because I am the person that gets incredibly nervous over getting our expenses are adding too many employees. We've added a lot of employees the last couple of years, and honestly, I want to make sure that each and every one of them is something that we need. And when the federal debt, I know you're not going to want me to say this, but when it increased $1 trillion in 3 months, that just really makes me nervous. I feel that we, as commissioners, have to be incredibly frugal with every dollar that we think about spending and not expanding. The really good news the last year has been our interest income that we have earned, because, of course, interest now is going up to, let's say we've been we're paid a couple of percent because we have incredibly specific rules on where we can invest a couple $100 million. But when you see our federal debt may be $1 trillion a year, we in Deschutes County have to be very mindful of that. And what is our best bet? If you look at the jobs reports for the country, they keep being revised down, seriously revised down. And the number that's really sticks out at me is that a lot of government employees have been added to the national scene, government employees. And I really think this is a time when government really needs to be a lot tougher and maybe get more done with less. And I know we've had issues with 911, and I'm incredibly thankful that staff is pretty well funded at this time. I think we only have an employee shortage of 3 because those people do work. They're the 24/7 people that work night and day too, and they're critical. Our call volume, in the summer goes up immensely because of all of our tourists, which of course then on that side is another good thing because the tourists help make the world go round here in Central Oregon. Right. Yes. So, but they
thank
do
you for the tourists.
Yes. Thank you,
we
tourists.
Welcome you.
We do love you, but we've got to really be careful. Careful.
Any opportunities? Are you hearing from, county leaders as to this is a really big opportunity for us in regards to, funding projects or anything like that? Is there anything on the radar that you're hearing about or no?
Opportunities, funding projects. Well, honestly, I just saw a lot of numbers come out of the state legislature, the short session, and they funded opportunities on the other side of the mountain. And I noticed that a lot during COVID. I would be fighting to get more funding here on a fair basis, and the fact that we have tremendous growth, and actually the state is losing people. For the first time in a long time, Oregon is losing people, but we aren't. And I do believe that we should be awarded more funding than we were. So is that going to be a big issue?
It's always a battle, right? I mean, like
but it's
East versus West. And
yes. Rural versus urban, yes. Anyway, the battle hasn't ended. Even though we're growing and I'd say Bend is fairly urban now, 100,000 people, and yet we really did not get the funding that I think we should have.
Well, now that the governor is going to be listening to this podcast, she'll hear this and, maybe help make some changes. I don't know.
Well, it's always good to be balanced. Try and be balanced. Look at what we need. We had a state hospital in Pendleton that closed in 2014. It had at one point in time it had 550 people there. Been desperately asking for state hospitals, small ones over on this side. And last year we wrote the letter for youth, for kids. They have to be sent to Portland. That's way too far away for families. And even if it could be on this side of the mountain, it would really help all of Eastern Oregon. There's, 18 counties over here? And it could be so helpful for people not to have to drive all the way into Portland.
Yeah. Seems to make sense.
So that's on my list.
What's coming up that people should be paying attention to in regards to Deschutes County? I mean, we talked about projects, but, what's coming down the pike a little bit?
Well, it's a huge budget.
Yeah.
And that will be, I think it's about the third week of May when we do have our budget week. But really, if you have something that you're really worried about or thinking about or think that we need, we should hear from you sooner rather than later because so many
community members you're talking about
Right, I'm talking
now.
about the community. Yeah, if there's something you're really worried about, do hear from the community a lot.
And how do they do that? I mean,
They
for
can
people
email
who don't
us.
know.
They can send an email into citizen input. They can email the commissioners individually. I always appreciate hearing, or you can call us, and I always love that.
And you always have people in your office.
Well, not always, but a
It's
lot.
like, oh my goodness, it's a merry-go-round. How do you know everybody in the county? I swear you know everybody.
I don't.
Every time I go to something where you're attending, bam, everybody, you know everybody.
I think that's why I'm so lucky that I have this job. It's because I do care about people. And I always appreciate when they say, we really appreciate you because you actually answer your phone or you'll call us back. And I try and do that for the most part.
Is that the trick in this job?
It's not a trick. It's
Well, not a trick, but just the empathy. To have that and to...
Because government has gotten so big, nobody really wants to listen to people and what you can do to help and unique things. And if somebody tells me something and I'll file it away and then I'll think, oh gosh, that's something that maybe I can do at some point in time. So I always like to hear things and then know. And then sometimes I go like, wow, how did government become so unresponsive? So I always try and make up for that unresponsiveness. So it is, when I answer my phone, people go like, oh my gosh, you're answering your phone. Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Well, I've always appreciated that about you. It's never been, you're always willing to talk to whomever comes up. It's, talk about what's going on in your world, pay attention to what's going on. You've asked me questions about what's going on in my world. And it's always, like, oh, she remembered that, so... Because you got a lot going on. So,
sometimes I can remember better than others.
Well,
honestly.
yeah.
Yes.
I get forgetful too. But
I know. It's always good to know something about somebody. Honestly, I used to know every doctor's wife's name at St. John's Hospital in Santa Monica. And I couldn't believe my husband didn't. And now God is paying me back for those thoughts. Because I used to be so good at it. And it's so important. It's like this morning I had a meeting about the CORE project. It's right by Oasis Village. And I thought it was $16.4 million, but Christy corrected me. It's $16.3 million of 300 acres that the county donated. So, I was off a decimal there.
I would never be able to remember all those things. It's good. You get some good help though.
Right.
There's a lot of great people in the county and supporting and informing and giving you handouts and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, they keep you very, very busy. And it's, it's like special people like Chris Doty that answers his phone when he is actually on vacation in San Francisco a couple of years ago. And I'm like, he's answering the phone and I'm calling him and I'm like, Chris, you don't have to answer the phone when you're on vacation,
He's probably just playing golf.
No.
He's a big golfer.
Is he a big golfer?
Big golfer. Drives a Toyota. Learned that too.
Oh, well, we both drive Toyotas. So.
Yeah, you've got the biggest Toyota in the whole parking lot.
Well, that's because it was my Christmas present 2 years ago. My son thought I needed it. I didn't pick it out. I'm like, I don't need this pickup, but do I love it? Yes. And it gets like 20 miles to the gallon, which is amazing.
You need a ladder to get up in that thing.
No, it has a running board.
Okay. All right.
Oh, my gosh. Just don't hit the button and lock the running board so it doesn't work, because then it's really fun to get in.
Who's your favorite tennis player?
Ooh, my very favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, let's see.
Come on. The Joker,
I do
Djokovic? Is it who?
No,
Is it?
well, I do respect him. I actually, Pete Sampras used to be a member at my husband's club. Pete Sampras, Andy Roddick, and Marty Fish were all there. That was kind of fun. When you live in Southern California, you usually see a lot of those. But one time, this is the funniest story, at the men's tennis tournament, they had an event on the beach in Santa Monica at the pier. And so I take all these kids to go to this event. Lindsay Davenport is standing there. There are no men there, but Lindsay is there. I know, she was there representing the tennis. So I thought that was kind of a funny day.
Pretty big name.
Yeah. No, well, Lindsay's, she's
big.
She did really well. No, my favorite now, I really like Tommy Paul. He's an American. I believe he grew up on the East Coast, but he's doing pretty well. And
I'm not a tennis guy.
Yeah, no, Tommy Paul.
This is baseball season now. We've switched from football to baseball. It's baseball time now.
Okay, well, okay. Anyway,
we got to get you into the world of baseball.
Well, I did have tickets once for the World Series.
Which one? Do you remember?
In like 86, or 85, Kirk Gibson. They won. The Dodgers won.
I know that one.
The Dodgers won in 5.
That was 1988.
Was it 88? Okay.
It was 1988. I know that because I lived in the Bay Area.
Okay. Well, my husband wanted to
beat Oakland.
My husband wanted to sell the tickets, and I said, "Oh no, we've got to go."
You went?
No,
so you did go.
No, they won in 5.
Oh, you had tickets to game sixth game.
I know. So God took care of it. We were having this big fight. I said, "Oh no, it's never the same. I always believe you need to be in person." I did go to the Super Bowl 9 months pregnant. That was a hoot. I know. Yeah, it's really, that's what makes it so much fun.
Well, if you want to get into baseball, talk to Dave Doyle, County Council. Huge fan, Pirates and Mariners.
Okay.
And then, of course, our county administrator. Yeah. Big Red Sox fan.
Yeah,
Which we try not to hold that against him.
I know. Baseball, I'm way more into tennis. And yeah.
All right.
And my kids all played soccer, so I love soccer.
Commissioner Adair, thank you for the updates on the county. There's a lot going on.
Oh, it's
Thank
incredible.
you for all the work that you do. Appreciate
thank
that.
you, Eric.
Thank you for always communicating with everybody who comes up to you, and either at work or at the meetings, and how you file away all that knowledge of who they are and what's going on in their world. Kudos to you for that as well. So thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, you're so welcome.
If you have a question or ideas for this podcast, you can email us at info@deschutes.org. That's info@deschutes.org. And remember to subscribe to the Inside Deschutes County podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, Amazon Music. We're also now on YouTube Music. And you can also find us on our website at deschutes.org/podcast. Again, thank you to my guest, Commissioner Patti Adair, for joining us. Until next time, be safe out there.